Alrighty, hey guys, and welcome to my channel. I hope this video clarity is good. There it goes, that's way better. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is, you can read by the title, I am pregnant. Obviously, I've already posted a video on that. So I'm going to start with my first month of pregnancy update. I've been making videos so far along in this pregnancy, and at this point, I'm so far along that it's just too many to do a week by week update, so I'm just going to compile them into months until I get caught up, and then I will start doing weekly updates. But so like I said, I'm going to be doing my first month of pregnancy. So I have here where I've already jotted down my first month of pregnancy, which includes me finding out all of the symptoms and stuff that I had, which is in this little book, which is how I'm pretty much going to track my pregnancy. In addition to that, I'll be using the Holy Grail Pregnancy Bible. This is my fourth baby. With my first baby, I had this book, which was back in 2006. And then subsequent pregnancies, I didn't buy the book. I just kind of went with the flow. But I did get this book because I remember there being just things. I used to enjoy reading this with my first pregnancy. And this time around, I feel like I actually do have a lot of the symptoms and stuff that the book was telling me before that I never had. So I actually just wanted to refresh again and read up again on them now that I'm actually experiencing them with my fourth pregnancy. So I'll be going from this book as far as what it says as far as first month of pregnancy, and then my actual notes. So let's see. I'm going to read my notes first because it kind of details in how I found out I was pregnant and everything that I had going on. So the basic start of it is that my first week of pregnancy obviously is the week of your period, which was July 14th through the 20th. My period started on the 14th, and through the 16th I had heavier bleeding, and then I spotted the 17th through the 18th. So 3 days of bleeding, 2 days of spotting. My fertility window was the 22nd through the 27th, and I ovulated on the 27th. I baby danced the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th. I was not baby dancing prior to that. I baby danced on the 23rd, I believe, and then not again until the 25th, 26th, and 27th. So I'm just going to jump right in with the date of first week of pregnancy, since first day of start of my menstrual period. So the 14th, I felt like I was bloated, I was cramping, and I was fatigued. The 15th, I had heavy bleeding. The 16th, I had heavy bleeding. On the 17th, I had light pink spotting, and then on the 18th, I had brown spotting, and then my period ended. And that concluded the first week. So the second week, which was the 21st through the 27th, on the 24th, I felt fatigue, my boobs hurt, and I had cramps. On the 25th, I was nauseous, fatigued, I had acne. And normally I'll break out like on my chin area somewhere, but this particular time I broke out here, and I had like little pimples here. I had one up here, which I never break out up here. And so I had acne in weird places, and again my boobs hurt. I had left pelvic pain, like sharp pains, and I had insomnia like crazy. On the 26th, I had pretty much the same symptoms, where I just was feeling fatigued, except for on this particular day, the left side pelvic pain, sharp pains that I was feeling was just way more intense and gave me a little bit of a backache, and then my sex drive increased. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, ovulation is coming. I'm gearing up for ovulation again, because at this point, I'm in my ovulation window. The 26th, I did baby dance. The 27th, my CM was more, it went from the clear and stretchy to a school glue. I was nauseous, I was fatigued, and my boobs hurt. So on the day that I actually ovulated, I did not have, I guess the 27th, the day that I was actually supposed to ovulate, was actually the day that my fertility window ended. My CM had went from the, stretchier stuff to school glue-ish, creamy-ish type of stuff. So my ovulation window had closed on the 27th. That concluded the week 2. going right into week 3, which is July 28th through August 3rd. The 29th, I had, again, liquidy CM, meaning like it was runny. It was like liquidy. I was fatigued. I had my first hot flash. The acne was just out of control. Like, I mean, I broke out in places I never even had broken out. My boobs were hurting. I mean, I got into the shower and just the water touching my nipples hurt. Not my boobs, but my nipples. I was extremely bloated. I had cramps, and my vaginal discharge had increased. So I was just like, okay, ovulation is over. No biggie. It's going to be clearing up, getting ready for my predicted period. August 2nd, I had crazy backache. The left pelvic pain was back again. On the 3rd, I was nauseous. I had my first headache. Now, I wouldn't even classify this as a headache. This was more like a freaking migraine of all worlds ever. And I'd never get headaches or migraines like this, but this particular one was just, I can't even describe how much pain I was in. I actually broke down and took a Tylenol, which I never take medicine at all, but it was that bad. On the 3rd, I was nauseous, like I said, with the headache, and then I had to pee quite often. And then that pretty much concluded the 3rd week. Now, going into my week 4, which was August 4th through the 10th, following the 3rd, I was just super, like that particular day when I had the migraine and nauseous, I just felt like I had the worst case of the flu. So on the 4th, I was just extremely sick. Like, I mean, I had body chills. I felt like I had a fever. My body was achy. Just the whole 9. I was nauseous, super fatigued. I had more hot flashes. I was dizzy. My back was hurting. I had crazy cramps. That left side pelvic pain just would not go away. My discharge had picked up. Even my joints hurt. I mean, trying to get up to get out of bed just to go to the bathroom or to get some water or to do anything was just so painful. Like, I literally walked hunched over like an old lady, and it was in one of them modes where you're under the cover and you're too hot, and you're on top of the cover and you're too cold. I just could not get comfortable, could not keep anything down. It was just a complete miserable time for me. Following that, of dealing with that for those 2 days, I also was coughing. I just had enough. So on the 4th, I got up and I took myself to the ER. Unfortunately, you'll see in a video, I went to the ER. Long story short, they took a urine sample. They did a chest x-ray on me because I was super congested. She asked me if I was pregnant. I told her there was a possibility. She did not test the urine sample that they collected from me. She went ahead with the chest x-ray. So I ended up holding on to it, and they never collected it. Because I had to go to work the following day, and I was just like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to make it to work with feeling like this. Ultimately, I ended up walking out because they left me in the waiting room. Once they drew all my blood and took all the tests and got my money and charged my insurance, they just left me in the hall to die. And literally, I was like, if I'm going to feel like this and feel like crap and not be able to lay down and they have not seen me to a room or a bed, I'd just rather go home. As long as I have my wristband to prove that I came to the emergency room, that's going to be good enough for my boss, because I just couldn't do it anymore. I was there for about 5 hours. So that went on. The 5th was actually the following day, which was a Wednesday, and I was feeling, I felt a little bit better. So on the 5th, I went to work. On the 6th, I ended up realizing that I use Ovia Fertility Tracker, and Ovia will give me a predicted period date. So for this month, after my cycle on July 14th, they predicted that my following period would start on August 10th. But I never make it to the predicted day. I always start my period somewhere between 5 to 7 days prior to the day that Ovia predicts me. So on the 6th, I then realized that I should have already had started my period. I should have started my period somewhere between the 3rd and the 5th. And so on the 6th, I'm like, I have not, my AS has not came, so something's up. Let me take a test. And I still had the sample from the hospital, and so I bought 2 of the dollar store cheap pregnancy tests. I think I still have the video. I'll try to post that in a separate video, but obviously those 2 were clear negatives to me, so I used the urine from that they collected at the hospital, and then I used the urine, my current urine, on the sticks, and I took 2 tests, and they both were negative. So I went on about my way. It was like, okay, I just got over this horrible bug that was going around, and so maybe my body just needs a little bit of time to adjust, and maybe my AF would just come on the 10th as it's predicted. So, I really didn't stress about it. On the 9th, though, knowing that AF should have been coming on the 10th, my CM was still creamy, and it had not dried up and disappeared, but I had like creamy discharge, and it was just weird. So I did a CP check, and my cervix was high and medium, and it was closed. Now, when I say medium, I'm going to say, okay, so say this is the cervix, the little donut. The outside here was soft, but the inner middle was firm, but it was closed. And so it kind of made me feel a little weird, because it was like, if AF is due to start tomorrow, it should be open, it should have dropped, and it should be completely firm. There should be no softness. So I was like, it's a little bit firm, so it could be firming up for tomorrow. So in addition to that, I also had bad backaches, my boobs hurt, and then I had a bad case of diarrhea. I had cramps, the vaginal discharge had picked up, and I was still a little bit congested. Like, that had actually never gone away. So again, on the 10th, I woke up and I did a CP check just to check and see if there were any changes overnight in my cervix. And the cervix was still extremely high. It was closed, but it was soft, just completely soft. I still had a lot of creamy discharge, or creamy CM. Discharge sounds so nasty, but CM was still creamy. It had not disappeared or dried up. Like I said, my cervix was soft, high, and closed. My boobs hurt, I was bloated, I had cramps. This is when everything just changed. I went home, I went to work that whole day that morning, like, okay, AF should be starting today. AF did not start. I then was like, okay, well, I have all day, so I'm not going to stress it out. I'm going to go to work. It could start any minute while I'm at work, so I was prepared for it to start. Unfortunately, it just never started. So as later in the day became gone, it just started. It really started to just eat away at me, like, okay, it has not started. Could I be pregnant? Because I've never made it to 14 DPO. At this point, I was 14 DPO. When I took the 2 tests on the 6th, I was 10 DPO. That was from 10 DPO and 8 DPO urine. And so on 14 DPO, I'm like, I've never made it this far. Could I be pregnant? So again, I stopped by the dollar store when I got off of work early that day. I got off at like 6:30. I stopped by the dollar store and picked up one of the little dollar cheapies and took the test. And I mean, within, I want to say 5 or 10 seconds, the test came back positive. And I freaked out, hopped up, ran to Walgreens, grabbed the first response, took that, and sure enough, that turned positive. And that's how I found out that I was pregnant. So I got my positive test on August 10th. At that point, I was 3 weeks and 6 days, 3 weeks and 5 days, getting ready to turn over into 4 weeks. I have a 30-day cycle, so my predicted test date wasn't for another day or two. Obviously, I found it a little bit sooner than 4 weeks, so I was excited. I knew that I was excited. I was still in very much shock. And the crazy thing about it is that I would love to share the video with you guys, but unfortunately, I woke up the next morning still in shock and in disbelief, and recorded the videos because I took that first response late at night, and I recorded the videos, but I wasn't wearing any pants. And unfortunately, in the midst of me taking the camera from the sink with the test and going up to the mirror to record myself, I caught a clip of me with no pants on. And so I can't post the video, but just know that I was in shock. I was whispering. Everyone was asleep. It was just crazy, and I just could not believe I was pregnant. Even for the first week and a half of knowing that I was pregnant, I went and bought a boatload of dollar store tests, and I tested every day just to, confirm in my brain that I was pregnant, like that there was actually a baby growing inside of my belly. It just did not register to me that, yes, in fact, I am pregnant and I'll be having a baby. So I was excited. I'm going to get into the pregnancy Bible, what to expect, and this right here I'm going to be starting in what is called the first month of pregnancy. Okay, so my baby this month, of course, you know, it just tells you in week 1 what's going on, week 2 what's going on. Week 3 is the week that they say that I conceived. Week 4 was the week of implantation time. I do remember somewhere around there on the 14 DPO, I did have some pink when I wiped. I had pink when I wiped, and I thought it was just the AF getting ready to come. But week 4, implantation time, the baby was a ball of cells, no bigger than a poppy seed. The amniotic sac had started to form, and so did the yolk sac, which would later be incorporated into your baby's developing digestive tract. So all of that took place in the 4th week of pregnancy, and the baby looked like this. If you can see that, that's what the baby looks like in the first month of pregnancy at the end of week 4. Along with this book, this is the second page here. It just shows you your body, what the baby looks like inside your body. Over here on this side, it gives you your baby this month, just some tidbits and symptoms starting soon. And then these are some of the physical symptoms. And I've highlighted in my book the ones that I actually did experience. So I did have the breast changes. Like I said, I could feel my nipples were extremely sensitive, and I do have implants, so that was something that was new. I had bloating and gas, fatigue, lack of energy. I was extremely sleepy. The beginning, I had nausea from the beginning, and it wasn't like nausea to where I was vomiting, but it was just like I would have bouts of nausea, like I would just feel nauseous, my mouth would water. I experienced excessive saliva quite early on in this pregnancy, and it's just the nausea would just hit me, and it would just out of nowhere hit me. I would eat something and then it would go away, and that was pretty much it. It wasn't like I had to vomit or I was losing my lunch or couldn't hold anything down. It was just a wave that would come and go. And then the next part is, that was the physical symptoms. The next part is the emotional. Amped up, it's like emotional ups and downs. Like I was amped up, PMS symptoms, which may include mood swings. I was more so irritable than anything. I remember the day, like maybe a day or two before I found out I was pregnant, it was something so small, and I mean, it just ticked me off, and I exploded. Oh, my poor boyfriend. And 2 days later, once I found out I was pregnant, I, of course, apologized. Like, okay, it makes total sense. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I had extreme anxiety. Just the fact that the pregnancy test that came back positive, that I know that in the past I had a not a complication per se, but I was told by my doctor with my last baby that the chances of me conceiving and having a healthy pregnancy was like 1 out of 5. And so I was definitely concerned when I conceived at this point, especially considering as my lifestyle since her has changed dramatically to where I had smoked cigarettes, I had been drinking more, because I did not plan on having any more children. I even got my boobs done. Even more so, the anxiety was high because around the 4th, around the 4th of August, my family had a reunion. Right before I got really, really, really sick, my family had our annual reunion here, and so I was drinking and, you know, enjoying myself with the family, and so I was definitely concerned about my behavior prior, because my family was all here, so of course we went out and we had some drinks, and of course, like I said, I smoked cigarettes and those type of things, and so I was definitely concerned that maybe my prior behavior had somehow affected the baby. But that was pretty much it. A lot of this just goes into the book. In this first month, it just goes over things like prenatal supplements, why they're important, fatigue and how it affects your body, morning sickness, how to deal with it, what can exacerbate it and make it even worse, your nose, how your smell increases, excessive saliva, frequent urination, metallic taste, breast changes. I did have the metallic taste as well. It just breaks down all of the different things that you may experience in your first month. It also has like when to call a practitioner, call immediately if you experience, and then it has a list of that. Call the same day or the next morning if you can. lower abdominal pressure, spotting, things like that. HCG levels, what they mean, stress and dealing with stress is also underneath this one. Anxiety over life changes, you know, how to relax yourself and your different options and other techniques. Expect the best, relaxation made easy, your pampered pregnancy, about your hair, whether you can dye and color your hair, straightening treatments, your face, how to, you know, treat your face and still keep your skin clear, your teeth, your body, your hands and feet, just the different changes that are going to take place in the first month, and then it'll go on over into the second month. So you guys will see this one being covered in my next video. That's pretty much it right now, and I thank you guys for tuning in. I'm getting ready to go to sleep. Obviously, I am extremely tired, and that has not gone away. So thank you for tuning in. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and follow the channel. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for tuning in and always sticking with me. I know I've been in and out, but hey, I hope to see you guys better. Stick with me on this journey, and I will get better with these videos. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I do respond. I do leave comments. I love to interact, and I am going to do better with basically keeping my channel up to date. But I definitely am going to blog and document this journey because I really am excited. Final thoughts on this is just that creating a new life, it's like, it's been 6 years, and I feel like this is something completely different for me. A little back history is I have 3 girls right now, ages 10, 9, and 6. And so, again, this is something, I waited even longer this time around to have another one between the children. So this has definitely been a different type of pregnancy as far as the symptoms, the way I feel, and just everything all around. So I hope you guys stay tuned again. Thumbs up this video, rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you. I was not baby dancing prior to that. I baby danced on the 23rd, I believe, and then not again until the 25th, 26th, and 27th. So I'm just going to jump right in with the date of first week of pregnancy since first day of start of my menstrual period. So the 14th, I felt like I was bloated, I was cramping, and I was fatigued. The 15th, I had heavy bleeding. The 16th, I had heavy bleeding. On the 17th, I had light pink spotting, and then on the 18th, I had brown spotting, and then my period ended, and that concluded the first week. So the second week, which was the 21st through the 27th, on the 24th, I felt fatigue, my boobs hurt, and I had cramps. On the 25th, I was nauseous, fatigued, I had acne, and normally I'll break out like on my chin area somewhere, but this particular time I broke out here, and I had like little pimples here. I had one up here, which I never break out up here, and so I had acne in weird places, and again my boobs hurt. I had left pelvic pain, like sharp pains, and I had insomnia like crazy.